So this is the first ever time I've had a go at the Canva Design Challenge. We've done our own versions of this during COVID lockdown, but it's nice to get involved with the official challenge itself. We're going to have a lot of information coming up in just a moment, but for this particular challenge this week, I'm going to give myself 20 minutes. We're going to record it live all the way through, so there'll be no editing and tidying up on the mistakes I make along the way. And yeah. Over the next few weeks, you're going to see a few posts around the Canva Design Challenge. We're going to have a go at taking on the challenge every week, and we'd like to invite you to come and have a go as well. The main aim of this is to tap into our PixelHaze Principles of Design and demonstrate how we can effectively work professionally under pressure and deliver a new design challenge in under 20 minutes each week. That's if, of course, it all goes to plan. All you need to do is subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow the challenges each week. Also, please leave comments and let us know how you're getting on with your own Canva Design Challenge. If you're over 18, you can also enter your own designs in the Canva Design Challenge officially, providing you meet all additional criteria. And I'll leave the link in the description below. Enjoy and stick around for this week's challenge. For full disclosure, I've given myself 5 minutes just to think up some ideas about what I'm going to do for this week's challenge. And the challenge this week is the ocean. And it looks as though I've opened up the template that Canva provide me. And we've got to create a social media or Instagram post with an ocean theme. So I've been thinking, and my love of tying in visuals with song lyrics is going to be the approach today. Stereophonics from the great album Word Gets Around, and I'm going to use the lyrics I'm deep in a goldfish bowl, it's sink or swim. So how we can combine a goldfish bowl with the ocean in the background, maybe. I don't know how that's going to work visually with what Canva provides us, but it's worth having a go. Second up, I'm going to try and bring in something from the Sloop John B, made famous by the Beach Boys, and to see if there's any lyrics in here that we can go with that. And finally, on a similar theme, the Irish Rover by the Pogues and the Dubliners, or should I say made famous by those. We're going to probably use this second verse as our quote in our social media post. We'll see. I have no idea how this is going to come out, but that's part of the charm of taking on a quick turnaround design challenge. Hope you enjoy, and please get involved, leave some comments below and share your own designs along the way. Let's crack on. Okay, so it's quite intimidating to start with. We've got with a blank canvas. The one thing I won't have time here in these challenges, which is something I always like to do, which is just to wireframe some initial designs. But if you've got a sketchbook with you, it's probably worth just mapping down a couple of your ideas. So first up, we're going to go with the Goldfish Bowl. And I'm going to put the text in first, because that just gives me a muse to work from. Just put that in our Pixelhaze Alice font at the moment. We'll change that, obviously. Another option we can go with is we can choose one of these pre-existing text styles here. That's a nice font. But we might even just cheat and go with that. Okay. What I'm going to do before I do too much on this, I'm just going to duplicate it. So we keep that as a backup. We're also going to see how many designs we can get through in 20 minutes. Minimum requirements is 1 design, but if I can do all 3, great. Okay, so there's a couple of things here. I really don't like the way that the B and the G overlap there. It's just how the text fits in this particular example. So one thing we could do is see if we can add some spacing. No, it doesn't seem to allow me to bring that bee in. Can I just get... No. Because it's aligned to the left, it's really trying to force it over. So what I'm thinking is I might offset the text a little bit, just so we don't have that overlap effect. So what I'm going to do is duplicate this area by clicking on this duplicate button. I don't know why I forgot how to do that for a moment. It's the pressure of having a quick turnaround challenge. Now we could do this at the start and just create 4 text boxes and just add the content in separately. But the time wouldn't be much different, to be honest. There we go. Okay, so we've got our text here. And now we can just get it to fit as we want to. I'm trying to get that line to continue down there, which would be really nice. And then this L. So we've got that line going through. We've got to make sure this ties in with our theme of the ocean, as opposed to obviously just a goldfish bowl, but we'll work on that in just a bit. Okay. I really like how that font's just kind of completely out of shape, and it looks like we're completely lost, like the poor goldfish. So let's have a look for a goldfish bowl. I think we want photos, at least for now. Now, I was thinking of trying it with the goldfish in. Problem we've got with that is if we want to put a background behind it, which I do, we're going to have to fade out the goldfish bowl itself. And that means our goldfish is going to be faded out. And I don't want to do that. So what I'm going to do is select just a simple goldfish bowl design without our little fish in there. And this whole design is going to be quite ambiguous, where we've got the goldfish in the foreground, but we've got the full ocean in the background. Ooh, that one's quite cool. We'll come back to that. I think that might be too busy in this particular case. Okay, so we need a backdrop now. That one could work quite nicely. Okay, so I don't know if this is going to work. It may not, and because we've got a white background here, it might be too much of a cutout. But what I'm going to do now is go to Edit Image and then go to the Background Remover tool. Instantly try and get rid of around the bowl. What it won't do is it won't blend in the white in the bowl itself to the backdrop. So it's going to look a little bit weird, at least to start with. And maybe something that's not going to work. Okay, so we've lost the reflection, which is a shame, but there might be a way that we can get that back in a bit. I'll have to look up to see whether I'm able to move that Canva Design Challenge badge or whether we need it in at all. I'm assuming we do. Okay, so we've got our bowl here. It's really not fitting with the background. So the first thing we can do is increase the transparency. But what we can see now is that the bowl itself is just too flat. There's not enough detail to make that look realistic enough. And this is why we might have to reassess. But let's have a look at the adjustments. Really ramp up the contrast, make the shadows darker. Drop down the warmth so we see more of a blue tone. Have a play around with the X process just to reduce it a little bit so we go less yellows, more blues. If I put a vignette on it, it will put it on the background, not the bowl itself, which is a shame because that could have worked quite well. Yeah, not happy with this. It's not working as I wanted. I just think our bowl's just too simple for that to work. Okay, so back to the drawing board. Let's see if there are any transparent options. Ooh, now this one might work. I'm going to try two different options here. We're going to duplicate it, press Control-C and Control-V there to copy and paste. Or you can use the duplicate option there. And we're going to try just using the background remover on this one. Taking its time. There's a lot of work, a lot of processing to do here to get rid of quite a detailed background. So this may not work just for the complexity of the background itself. Okay, not bad. So one thing we could get away with this potentially is to have it so it's cutting out the edge of the image. Yeah, that's still not quite what I want. But let's just bring the transparency down. This is where the fish is going to get lost against the background again. Definitely feels like we're trying to do too much. Yeah. We're going to park that one for a minute. Try this one as well. Good grief, I didn't see the time. So we've got 5 minutes, 6 minutes left. So let's just see what we can do. Yeah, so we've got this other bowl, background remover. I've cropped in, just hopefully that makes it easier for the background to be removed. It seems to be the case. So where this one might be better than the other one is there's already blue in the colors. So when we go through our adjustments again, there's more of a difference between the light and the darker colors. So that means now that when we reduce the transparency, we can see some of the background through it as well. I think we can do a bit more, but I think that's going to be a better example here. Now, this is where in Photoshop we could individually just reduce and increase the transparency on sections alone, whilst keeping the frame of it, this bit here, much sharper and more in contrast. But we've got to work with constraints that we have. Reduce the brightness, but then take the highlights up. So we get more of a contrast. It's not perfect. It's not quite what I wanted, but I think we're going to have to stick with that. What I'm going to do now is duplicate that. And I could just put another layer on it. Like that. Duplicate it again. And this time, we're going to flip it vertically. Just that little bit of reflection on the bottom there. Okay, so I don't think we're going to get around to doing our other challenges, but there we go. So I'm going to go straight for this goldfish because he looks nice and kind of surprised and, dare I say, fish out of water. We're going to drop him in there and might just reduce the transparency. Because remember, he's got to be in the bowl. Again, the adjustments here, I'm going to bump up the contrast to give it a bit more, even though he's in the bowl, we want those shadows nice and stark, just to give a bit more punch. Bump up the vibrance, get nice and sharp colors. I might just see if we can do something with the vibrance on the bowl as well. Yeah, that helps. Just get more blue in there. Okay. So I'm just going to increase the opacity of that. We want it less so than the bowl itself, but enough that we can work with. What I might also do is, I don't think this is going to work, but we'll try it anyway, is I just want to put a little glow around the bowl. I don't know if that worked. Yes, it did. Okay. So if we go into the settings of this, we're now going to put it as a light blue. Just to put a little halo around the outside. Keep it quite small. So actually transparency works in reverse. I was thinking transparency, if you put it all the way, it would make it transparent, but actually what it does is it makes it more opaque. So that's good to know. And make sure the blur is up really high because I don't want it to be a solid line around it. But there we go. That just puts a little bit of a glow around the Goldfish Bowl as well. I think we need, instead of it sink or swim, I think we're going to put the Stereophonics. Name in here. As I said, we're not going to have time now to have a look at any of the others. We are just around the 20-minute mark. So the final step now is I'm going to change the colors. Let's have a play around with some colors here. So I'm going to pick out colors that are similar to the Canva one. So we're just going to do this by eye now just because of time. And I think I'm just going to go with different ocean style colors for each sentence, and then we can adjust it then to the background. If I had more time, I'd be more selective over the colors, but we don't. Don't think that font quite works. I think I'll just go for the same font throughout. Okay, I think we'll call it a day there. So, first challenge. You'll probably see a theme of me using lyrics or text from Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy or other examples in Canva challenges. I just like challenges like that. Yeah, overall quite happy with that. That's a first stab at the Canva Design Challenge. Tune in next week and we'll have a go again. Cheers.